All right, so thank you for being here today. I'm presenting for my Human Resources portfolio for my IL 614 class on Professional Learning Community Plan. So we had to develop this for class, and we originally did all the research based on a group, compiled all the research, and then had to come up with a school level based plan for that. So what is a PLC? This was probably the best quote that we could find. A professional learning community is a group of educators that meets regularly, shares expertise, and works collaboratively to improve teaching skills and the academic performance of students. So that's something I know that we do here anyway, but just kind of want to get a little bit further in depth on how we can fix that. So the area of focus, obviously consistency of meetings and how we're doing those PLCs. Also having it student-centered and data-driven. So definitely want to use that data and then always come up with the end in mind as far as student achievement. And then age group, I know we do have pre-K here, but we don't necessarily do PLCs with our pre-K just because they're a separate entity normally within instructional-wise. Schedule timeline, meet on the first Wednesday of every month as a PLC, and then throughout the month, grade level teams will meet once a week to discuss progress and strategies on how to support the PLC strategies that we set in place once a month. Assign duties. So each group or PLC group that we have during that time will have a data presenter, so someone that pulls the data and brings it and presents it to the group and shows us and tells us what exactly the data is showing us based on student achievement. A recorder, so someone records everything that's being said, the strategies, writes down and types out, sends it out to the group as far as what needs to be done during that month time frame. A timekeeper, because we want to make sure that we stay on time and we get out of here within a timely manner, just because extended PLCs, they become non-effective the longer that they go. And then a group manager, and that's that person to kind of keep everybody on track. Assessment tools. I thought about building a rubric for PLCs just to assess the effectiveness of the actual meeting. That way everyone is given a rubric prior to the actual PLC, and then as we go through, they can check themselves off on the rubric or where they feel like they performed for that specific PLC. And then obviously we would analyze our data using STAR, Scantron, and Dibbles to determine what's working, what's not working. So the strategies that we're implementing during PLCs, we want to look back at the data to see if those are actually working. If we notice no change or a dip, then we have to go back to the drawing board with strategies. The 5 biggest reasons that PLCs fail. Difficulty of fundamental change, and that's just us being stubborn and not wanting to change, not wanting to do something different. We sometimes get set in our ways and just do what's comfortable. We don't want to really reach out or branch out. Keeping focus during meetings. I think I'm probably the biggest one that goes off topic pretty quickly. So keeping that focus always on student success. Focus on the method and not the results. So if we can focus on what we're doing and the strategies that we're implementing, the results will come. If we always focus on results, then we'll always lag in the methods. So making sure that we have that focus. And then having unclear measure of success, so not really knowing how to assess what we're trying to implement. And then premature abandonment, which means we try it for a couple months and then, oh, it's too hard or it's not working, and then flip back to regular old faculty meetings. So those are the 5 biggest reasons that PLCs fail. Promoting PLCs, reducing isolation. We want teachers and faculty to work together and collaborate. Increase capacity. We want to build that capacity within our leaders and our teachers in the building, so that way once we have an initial meeting with them, they can take it back to their team, and we can start building that capacity where they're allowed to train or they can train new teachers coming in. Productive environment. Once again, we want to make sure that it's conducive for collaboration and just have the overall sense of this is why we're here, this is what we're doing, and not going off topic. Increasing the quality of work that we pump out during those PLCs, and then providing enough time. So I'm providing those times during the week also. The process of school improvement through the implementation of a professional learning community is not simply checking off items on a list, but creating a community of care and concern for the work of educating students. So I think that's a big focus as far as really trying to make sure that students get what they need and look at the whole child rather than just the data, make decisions based on that, because our kids come to us with a lot of baggage. So that PLC is a great time for us to really sit down and talk about what the kids need and how to get there. So that tier 2, tier 3 instruction, that could be discussed during PLCs, and a lot of other topics as well. So thank you very much for coming today. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can